One thing I could distill in you guys today, it's going to be that 2019 is probably going to be one of the best and one of the final best years to really pimp out Facebook and make the most of it. I made a podcast on this recently where the Facebook ads platform, like I'm not a tactics kind of guy, if anyone knows me, I'm not all about the tactics, but there is certain things that come along, and if you're not taking advantage of them, you're just pretty fucking stupid at the end of the day, right? Facebook ads, we've been using them for 6.5, 7 years, and okay, you've seen your costs go up in 2 years, I've seen my costs go up in over 6 years. From 6 years ago, we paid 20 pence an application. I literally built, and I'm happy to say it, I'm largely where I am today because I did get in at the right place at the right time. Okay, now to stay in business, you've got to have those skills too. But I got into this, the heavens collided, and about 6.5, 7 years ago, I really got into business for myself, and Facebook ads were a brand new thing back then. There was less competition. There was virtually no regulation. You could say whatever the hell you wanted in an advert. You could put anything out there. And that's because the Facebook ad platform was just kicking off at the time, and they have to appease their shareholders. So any platform does this, and if you know this trend, you'll be able to see it coming with Google ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn, Instagram. Now you'll see the same trend. And if you understand this, you're going to see opportunities in the long term that literally for me, I literally bought a 6-figure income for £800 on ads. £800 literally got me enough clients to make me a £7,500 a month revenue, right? So whilst that was just being in the right place at the right time and having the cheapest ad platform that we've never had in our generation before, I've got to give that some of the credit. Keeping those clients though and building a business on top of that is a whole other skill set, which I can say I do have some more knowledge in, because I had other trainers at the time, people I was in mastermind groups with and things like that, and they did the same thing, and they would spend their money on Facebook. They would take waves of clients in, but their businesses would collapse because they grew the front end of the business too fast, and they didn't have any support or systems in place to serve those clients. Because we all think we want like 500 clients tomorrow, right? And if I just waved a magic wand or snapped my fingers and you had 500 clients tomorrow, most of you would go broke. Your businesses would be crushed to death under the weight of 500 people like that. So there's definitely something to say about a platform like Facebook, which is so powerful, but we have to also be responsible and use it responsibly, But 6 years have gone by, costs have gone up. What happens with any platform, it starts with innovation. Any technology does this. Whether it was TV, radio, the internet, anything goes through this. It starts with innovation. Something new comes along. If it's really good, it goes into the growth phase. When it's grown to a certain level, it then hits saturation. Okay, Facebook got really saturated about 2.5 years ago, although they didn't publicly declare it because it might look bad. But you could tell that, and I could tell that, and for about the last 2 to 3 years, I've been telling any Fit Pro that will listen, if you're not running ads yet, you have to start now. The window of opportunity is closing. You'll still get great results, but compared to how easy and how cost effective it was before, that is closing day by day, because we're now in saturation. So many people are now using the ads platform, and that's what's driving the costs up, because it's a finite space, right? There's only so much space on the newsfeed. Right now, it's like every third post is probably an advert, right? And Facebook can't put more than that. It's not some infinite resource. But they can't put any more. That's why now they're pushing the ads into your messenger feed, and soon it'll be in your groups, because there's nowhere else to put the ads. So what happened? They're pretty much at saturation point. It's like having a full gym. There's nowhere to put new people, and so when they know there's more demand than there is supply, they go, oh, our costs are going up 300% now, just because. You can walk away if you want to. We've got 10 more PTs in your area begging to give us money for Facebook ads, and you will keep paying us, and you will pay us more, and we're going to tighten up and restrict what you can and can't say, so deal with it. And they're doing that because it's actually a good thing, because they're actually filtering through the quality. And I love that we get forced to make better things. It's easy to throw up before and after pictures, but now we have to learn how to really communicate with the market, how to avoid hype and buzzwords, how to avoid overhyping and shooting ourselves in the foot sometimes, I think is a good thing. But it also is going to separate the amateurs from the pros on Facebook. Because now really as well, you also need to spend about 10, 15 pounds a day probably to get any traction. Because if you're not spending that much, Facebook think you're just wasting their time. And for like 3, 4 pounds a day, which we used to run, now probably like that wouldn't even get your ad shown to many people. They'll just bury your advert, they won't show it. So if you've noticed that, has anyone noticed that in the last couple of years, you put an advert out there and it just doesn't show to anyone. Like they're not spending your money. You're like, take my money, Facebook, but they couldn't give a shit, right? So that's why if you show you're willing to spend more, they're gonna take you more seriously and give you that ad space. Because it is limited, it's finite real estate you've got in there. They can't show it to everyone. And at the same time, the costs are also going up because you have bigger companies, your Mercedes-Benz, your BMWs, your Hilton hotels or whatever, and they're realizing finally they need to take their money away from big print advertising and they need to put it into Facebook. And so when they're targeting 30 to 50-year-olds in your area,